Back, everybody. This is God, Family, and Everything Else. I have a special guest for you guys, and his name is Neil Humphreys. He is the owner of an English school here in Japan called Dream Tree, and he's also started a new business where he is a coach, a life coach, and he does a lot of videos. And I will provide that information for you in the link below. But he does a lot of videos where he is actually providing good insight and good information on those of people that want to become entrepreneurs and what to face and the challenges that you may face and how to overcome those. So I recommend go ahead and go check those out. Subscribe to him, follow him, help build that channel because he has a lot of good information to provide. And without further ado, this is Neil. And hey, Neil, and wonder if you can go ahead and introduce yourself and provide a little bit of information for us.
Cool, man. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so like Kevin said, so my name is Neil Humphrey. Just to give you some background about myself before coming to Japan. So I was born in San Francisco, California. I came here in Japan in 2011. So I've been here going on 10 years. So September will be my 10th year here. When I got here, I came here as a translator. So I was doing like translation work. I studied Japanese back home. So I got a job offer here doing translation. So I did that for a little bit, a couple years. And then I kind of got burnt out. And then so I got a license to teach. So I was a kindergarten teacher here for about 5 years. And then so my last year of doing that, I just had this desire to just do more with my life, do more with teaching. And I just had this, it was really a desire to start my own school. So I planned that out for about a year with my wife's support. And then in 2018, we opened Dream Tree English. We weren't here at this location. We were actually in another place. I can tell you guys about that later if we get into that. But so I was at another place saving up money. When I was able to get enough money, I was able to open my own location. I was at a rental space first. But now I'm here at my own school. Yeah, so that's the teaching side of it. So I've been teaching total like 10 years here in Japan. What Kevin said, I started my own coaching business not too long ago. That's a life coaching business, and I'm mostly focusing on entrepreneurs, helping them really with their mindset, helping them get started, and just having the right frame of mind, going into business.
So you've done a lot since you've been here for a little over 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you think through all those projects and all those things that you were experiencing and doing led you to this point, pretty much showing you, hey, this isn't what I really want to do. Like it kind of just had taken you all down that path of experience, but then it just showed you about like things like this isn't where my heart really is, and this is where my heart truly is, and this is what I want to do from those past experiences.
Yeah. So like yeah, just kind of touching on what you said, like, so I was teaching at this school for about 5 years. And so after the 4th year, something changed within me. I don't know where it came from exactly. I got into personal development like at age 21. So I'm really into like, books and motivational speakers. So I listened to that stuff all the time. And I guess it just kind of caught up to me, I guess. And it just really put something in me and said, Neil, you gotta move on this. It wasn't something that I really believed at first. Actually, what happened was I shared the vision with my coworker, and he was like, "Yeah, I think you can do it." So he kind of gave me like a little boost of like confidence. I told him I wanted to start my own school, and he's like, "Really? Yeah, man, you should do it." It was like, and so that really just helped supercharge everything. And then with the support of my wife, that really just like capped everything off. And just going back a little bit, when I had the desire, the vision, I didn't have the money yet. I didn't have the money. I didn't know how. I didn't have, I just had the desire to do it. And so I just I just tell people all the time, I just moved in faith. That's what it was. I moved in faith, and with, moving in faith and just having the right mindset really helped me get, to where I'm at. So really it was a combination of just the mindset and the faith moving as one, and that brought about everything that I have now.
Yeah, see, and I completely agree with that. I'll be honest, like there's been times where I've I felt like, okay, this is what I feel like I need to do. I've dabbled in a little bit of here and there, probably not as much as you have, but um, it's that, like you were mentioning, having that faith in believing that you can, once you set your mind to it, then that it can become a reality,
Mm-hmm.
or at least working hard towards it. And while you're
Mm-hmm.
doing that, you're also developing a lot of different characteristics in yourself that you probably didn't know you had. Which,
Mm-hmm.
for me, honestly, from moving here and watching and seeing what you're doing, and I know you and I have known each other for a couple of years now. Um, it's quite inspiring to see, just to see where you're at, and that is where I want to be, and that's why I have you on here, just so you can also educate me, and then
Mm-hmm.
also a lot of people out there that are looking to do the same thing as well, and because
Mm-hmm.
we all need that nudge, or that something, like you mentioned your friend saying, hey, why don't you open a school, um, and sometimes when you feel like inside, I think it's good to have that support system, especially with your wife, like you mentioned. When you
Mm-hmm.
have that support to back you, you feel like, okay, let's just dive in. So I think that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
truly. Now, if you could touch a little bit about, like, okay, so right now you're doing, your business is Dream Tree. You have your school, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and right now, from knowing you, it's going quite well. And
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about, like, what exactly, like, what is the age range, and then what do you hope to get out of it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and with the students as well. And what is
Mm-hmm.
your ultimate goal for Dream Tree?
Yeah, so the we primarily teach, our primary students are in elementary. We also have kindergarten classes. We also have like night classes for like adults, but our primary students are students, elementary, so from first year up to 6 years. I mean, we have the full range of elementary students. Um, so my so my school is like, I wouldn't say it's different, but it's not a test prep school. So there's a lot of, if you're watching this in another country, there there are schools that prepare you for tests or university, things like that. My school is really the foundation, giving them the foundation of English. I mean, starting from the colors and the numbers, building them up to grammar. And some of my students are able to read paragraphs by themselves, and say what they do on the weekend and things like that. So it's really giving them the foundation of English and just helping them build up upon that. So when they go to middle school and high school, they're not going to be foreign to English. It's like something that they grew up with. And some of my students, I mean, I've been teaching them since they were like literally babies. So I've been teaching the same students for like 8 years. So that is in short, yeah, it's giving them the foundation of English. And I don't really, it's funny, I don't, when I think deeply about it, I don't like to say I'm an English teacher. I like to say that I am helping my students communicate with the world. I try to give it like a bigger vision, because that's really what I'm doing. I'm really helping them communicate with people from other countries, because Japan is an island. So when they get off this island, they're going to be in contact with people from all over.
Yeah.
And as you know, English is the most, the most, spoken language in the world. So they're really going to be communicating with the world. So that's what Dream Tree is really providing that foundation, for anyone, for the young kids, and for the older adults. The second thing you asked, the overall goal or what I'm trying to get out of it. To be honest, like Dream Tree is like, I'm really just living out my dream, like teaching and using my gifts, whatever's inside of me to help students get from here to here. That's the ultimate goal. So I don't really have like a 10-year or 20-year plan. It's like I'm living it right now. Like this is the goal. Like the goal is right now. And I want to continue this until the wheels fall off, until I can't do it anymore. So Dream Tree is my baby that I'm going to be nurturing forever. And on the coaching side, that's another thing. That's like for my personal Neil Humphrey's brand, but for Dream Tree, like this is the dream. Like this is the dream. So yeah.
See, that's great. That's how I see what you're doing. Because I think that's the most important thing is when you can change one life, that means a lot. And like you said, we live on an island, and Japan is very very secluded from the rest of the world. And seeing, I'm seeing that more and more the longer I stay here, and being able to provide such a good service like what you do, being able to educate the children on like what the rest of the world is like and how important and how universal the English language is. And when you put your heart into it, I believe the children are seeing that when you do that. Like you truly care about what you're providing for them that can help them in their lives when they grow up. So I think that's really admirable, to be honest. It's not a
Thank
money
you.
grab because a lot of people can see that if it is. But from knowing you and seeing like what you do, and then the amount of energy and work and heart you put into it, it's nothing like that. It's far from that. Uh,
Oh, thank you, man.
yeah, and no, honestly. So and it's just great, especially when I'm with you and children remember you, like you were saying, 8 years from when they're babies. Like you've done something where it's actually impacted their life. Where when they see you, they're excited to see you, and then they are still speaking English. So because of
Yeah.
what you've done, you've impacted their life. So I think that's great. So and like I said, I love to see where Dream Tree goes and continues to go from
Oh,
here.
thank you.
Yeah, and based off of, and also anyone that's watching this, check out the Instagram follow because he provides videos up there as well. And you can kind of just see what's going on and see what's going on with the students and how it looks. So if you're interested, go check out Dream Tree. And then to talk about your coaching, if you can talk about that a little bit, give some people a little bit of insight exactly why you decided to do this and how.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this might be a long one. I might have to get a little spiritual with this because what that's what my coaching is all about. So I got to go back to man to I got to go back far, and this is just I don't want to get too deep into it, but had some. I mean, as we all have things happen when we grow up. And so that was like the basis of why I wanted to get into coaching, because I just had this heart to help people. I just had a heart for it ever since I was like a little kid. So when I got into college, I was in this class that I love. It was called College Success, and it was just about it's like a personal development course for like newcoming freshmen. And so at the end of the semester or at the end of the term, the instructor asked us, what would you like to major in? And so one of them was Japanese because I already knew that. I just loved the language. And then another one, I said I want to be a counselor, but I didn't even know if that was even a discipline or not, counseling. So I had those two in mind. But just at that time in college, like Japanese was just like, I was like, I'm going there. I just had the vision. I was like, I'm going to learn Japanese, be fluent. I'm going to move there. And that's going to be like, my Mexico, I'm just going to live there forever. And then, so that's how it was. Um, so I moved here, did all that stuff. And then the past year, that burning desire just to help people on a deeper level, it just was like, it was just tugging at me. And I was like, I don't know what to do with it. Like I'm on this island, I want to talk to people and help people. So I just went on YouTube and then I I heard about this thing called life coaching. Like I was just like, what is that? I just heard about it, and maybe that was like a couple years ago. And I just did some research on like what is a life coach, and then I was like, oh, this sounds kind of like counseling, like helping people. So I mean, just like I'm sure in exercise and fitness, there's different. You got yoga, Pilates, and you got just a lot of different areas. Same thing with coaching. There's life coaching, business coaching, this coaching, that coaching inside of life coaching. And I was like, man, I really want to help people on like a deep level, not just touch the surface. Like I want to get under and get my hands dirty. And so there's this thing called transformation coaching. And I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. I was like, what is that all about? Did a lot of research on it. I was like, that's it. I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to help people on a deep level, like not just give advice. I want to get deep to the core of, I'm just throwing this out there, like confidence, or low self-esteem or things that are holding you back. And so I was like, that is it. So I did a lot of research and I found this institution that I got certified with. So it took me about a little over a couple months to get certified and testing and all that stuff. And so I got certified in March. And then since then, I just been reaching out. I've been, man, like with the thank you for shouting out the YouTube, because I've been, man, it's mind blowing. Like the videos I put out are reaching Canada, reaching India, reaching the US, I get people from all over, and I'm like, what? I got somebody from Africa the other day, and it's just mind blowing. Like the videos, you never know who is watching the video. So like, the power of the internet, like that's why I love the internet, like the power of the internet, putting yourself out there in a true way and touching all these lives. It's just amazing. So to answer your question, I got into coaching because I just really wanted to help people on a deep level. And that's it. It wasn't about the money. I just wanted to help people.
See, and that, I mean, you and I both, I mean, we have that same, that's another reason why I wanted to start this channel. So, but like you and I have that desire where we feel like we can impact people's lives in a positive way, and providing the information or the experiences that we've had or that we know. See, with you, you're very well, after seeing your videos and whatnot, you're very articulated and very intellectual when you're with your the information you provide. That is something that I'm starting to grow and develop myself. But I think it's great. I mean, I did not know that you were reaching that many people. I mean, I mean, in different countries like that, like Africa, Canada, whatnot. I remember you were mentioning about someone gave you a shout out or mentioned your name in their video, which to me, when you told me that, I was like, wow. So, like you said, someone is watching, and it's not like we're doing this for the subscriptions or the money or anything. We're actually doing this because somebody is going to come across the video, and then they're going to take the time and listen, and it's going to feel like you're talking to them directly, and which I think is great. So just seeing the information you just told me, how this is growing for you, is inspiring for me as well on what I can do. So you're also impacting me based off what you just told me. So
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I know this video, like one thing I had to learn, YouTube is a different beast in itself, but even with this video, it might get viewed next week, it might get viewed in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like that's the great thing about the internet, is like we don't know who's watching, when, where, how, but just coming on here online, just being true, sharing a true message is just it's amazing. And then I hope this video, I'm not gonna say I hope it goes viral, but I hope that it reaches the right person. That's what I hope. I hope it reaches the right person.
yes.
And that's all we can do. When it reaches the right person, and our job is not done, but you know what I mean? Like it was for that person. So that's what I hope happens with this video as well.
I can completely agree. Because, and just to go off of kind of similar. I feel like my channel is kind of going to be a little bit similar to what you do, but mine's more of a biblical aspect part
Mhm.
of it. But at the end of the day, it's still trying to positively change somebody's life, letting them know that
Mhm.
they are actually important and
Mhm.
they shouldn't be judging themselves off of what the world says they should go off be like,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that they have the ability to do what they were created to do. They just have to go through those lumps and pains, and they figure it out. Um,
Mhm.
and I kind of I feel like what you just been sharing is it's kind of like that. Like you've had your ups and downs along your journey until you
Mhm.
finally hit that moment in the road where you're like, you know what, I'm tired of just going the ups and downs. I just want to do what I believe that I was meant to do. I'm just, so
Mhm.
um, yeah, that's great. And I wanted to just kind of ask you, since this channel is God, family, and everything else, like what we'll talk a little bit. First, I have a question about God, but then also I want to ask you about family. Like, how's your family responding to like seeing how your business is growing?
Yeah, my wife, like I said, my wife is fully supportive. She's been with me from the start. So um very supportive. Outside of my immediate family, I mean like people back home, family back home, fully supportive. I mean, they're not here in Japan, but just with the stuff I post, they're supportive. My boys are still young; they're 5 years old, so they don't really, really know. They know that I teach, but they don't really know the ins and outs of the business in the school. But they're here sometimes. They come here and I try to share things with them, and teach them, like I can. But yeah, the one for my kids is it's a little hard. They're still young, what I'm saying? They're still young, but um when I come home, they're happy to see me. We have a great relationship. And I think that's important. When I come home, I at least try to teach them something. I can't have like a full-on lesson with them,
Right.
but just being there and reading to them, reading stories to them, and just trying to be a good father. I think that's what's the most important. But I know as they grow older and see what I do, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know my dad was like a English teacher, and he's teaching all these kids, and he's probably teaching some of my friends, which I am. I'm teaching some of their friends. So the understanding will come in due time. But I think they are fully supportive for sure. Mhm.
And I do believe having a supportive family is very important into what we're doing. Um,
Mhm.
and it's part of that foundation to keep you grounded and to keep
Yeah.
you reminded on like why another reason why you're doing this.
Mhm.
And your boys will. I think that's important for them to kind of remember your legacy as like this is my dad is someone that actually cared for other individuals and wanted to help them. At the same time,
Mhm.
he loved us just as much, so it wasn't he wasn't taken over by his business or anything. He didn't put that first. We understand that he has the goals and the dreams, but his heart was in the right place. And I think that's
Mhm.
what your boys will grow and see that and understand that. And
Mhm.
letting your boys know that is what's important, I think.
Mhm. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so but I also wanted to ask you a little bit when you mentioned about like your faith and just open, honest, like just wanted to know what your thoughts are, your walk is with God, or your faith, or where, like, if you believe, if you don't, or if you're kind of like I'm not quite sure, totally
Mhm.
fine. No,
Mhm.
that's why I like this channel because there's no judgment. I'm just more so here just to hear what people have to say.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. This might be a little lengthy because but let's just start from the foundation. So my family grew up, I grew up in like a Christian household. Christian household. We didn't go to this is a hard one because on my mom's side, we grew up as Christians. We didn't really go to church too much. I mean, we prayed, you know, in Thanksgiving time and things like that, but we didn't really go to church too much. On my dad's side, my dad, he was, I believe he said he was a Jehovah's Witness for like 10 years, but it wasn't by choice though. It was because I don't want to put my dad's business out there.
No, no,
He
no.
was it wasn't by choice though. I'll just say that. It wasn't by choice. So he was practicing that. I don't even want to know that walk or that religion, but it wasn't by choice.
Right.
So somebody introduced me in high school. My friend, I had a friend named Tori. He introduced me to his church. So I was going there in high school for a couple of years, but we're just gonna be real honest with this. I had the worst experience because it was too it was I don't even have the word for it, but it was very I don't have the word for it, but I think we spoke about it the other day when, let's say I didn't want to go to church on Sunday, then they're like, oh, you out there sinning again, or you out there. It was one of those kind of situations. So I was very and so I stopped going there. I was there for like 2 years, stopped going there. But one thing though, I'm not gonna talk bad about the place because I did get something. I developed a spiritual relationship with God. And so that's what I took away from that. So not to take, I know they had good intentions. I'm pretty sure they had good intentions,
Yeah.
but I developed a spiritual relationship with God. And some of that was because of the things I was going through with my mom. She had a really hard life. So I was praying a lot just for her. It wasn't even for me. It was just, I'm just praying that her situation would get better. So that's kind of where my faith started. And the reason why I laughed is because within this past 2 years of me, um, just with my faith and just learning, I mean, just learning not about Christianity, but just learning about other cultures, I guess,
Right.
other cultures like what they believe in India, what they believe in China, what they believe wherever they are, you know. I don't know. I've just kind of developed this more open-mindedness, and this is something that I pray about because in the Christian Bible, or in our Bible, not Christian Bible, in the Bible, it talks about God and how God is, God is the only God. Um, but things that I pray about regularly are, because I'm from the US, I mean, it's primarily Catholic and Christian. I mean, primarily. I mean, there's other faiths, but
Yeah.
I guess the thing that kind of has me like this is, if I grew up in China, right? Or if I grew up in India, if I grew up in Africa, those countries primarily they believe in something else. Like they just grew up, they believe in something else. Like, they don't even know what the Bible is. They don't know what this is. So I guess my frustration is holding on to that stuff that I learned when I was younger as, um, we shouldn't serve other gods, or we shouldn't serve, but I'm just thinking about the people who, like my grandmother. So my grandmother, she grew up just, you know, not, she believed in God, but she didn't say Jesus or whatever. She just grew up just with her faith and whatever it is. So I don't know. It's kind of a hard question, but
Well,
I fully believe in God. Like I fully believe in God. I'm not, and I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. I'm not. It's very hard. I don't understand the Bible at all. I understand some books. There are some books that I can really just I can get, but there are other books where I can't digest it. I cannot digest it at all. Um, and I think we spoke about this. I mean, multiple of times. Um,
hey,
but
trust I hear where you're coming from because there's a
mhm.
lot of books in that I read in the Bible where I kind of I turn my head like, huh? But I I that's where my faith comes in because I don't quite understand 100% of what I mean. I feel like I understand a good portion of it, but there's a lot of parts in the book, like in the Old Testament and whatnot, that I'm still confused about. But I leave that and I leave that in God's hands and provide me the wisdom and the understanding when needed and reveal to me His word when according to His will. But I get where you're coming from, and not to me, I don't mean to cut you off, but uh, earlier who you were mentioning, it kind of sounds like to me you grew up a certain way, believing in a certain way, but then many different cultures have different beliefs. So you somewhat kind of question, like, is what I believe the true, or which is real? Since all these other countries or cultures believe in this, like, how do I know for sure this is the truth? Am I?
Kind of. I mean, I guess where I was going was, um, in my spirit, I believe that there is one God. I believe that because I believe that there's one God. I don't believe that all of this here was created by man, the water, the mountains, all that stuff. Um, I guess what I question, not even question, I just wonder why. Um, let me just filter this in my head because I don't want it to come out in the wrong way. Um,
Open and honest in here.
yeah, I'm trying to frame it in the right way. Um, I'm just wondering why every culture around the world says there's God, but for some people in India, their God is like I don't know what they call it, the elephant. Or if you look at Indonesia, their God is I don't know what they call it. In Japan, it's like the Buddha. In Christianity, we say Jesus.
Right.
In Islam, they say Allah. And I don't know why there's so much division. I don't know why there's so much like that's the thing. I don't understand that. And the reason why I say that is because the book, the Almanac. I mean, we know the Almanac. In the almanac is just it's a book. It's a thick book that comes out every year, and it has
Oh,
facts about the president and the pollution in the air and blah blah blah. There's a little section in there on religion, and so I was looking at that the other day. Under Christianity, it was like 10 different denominations, and it gives you the origin of each. It gives you the origin, which is nice. It's beautiful. And so I'm looking through like, okay, this is Christianity. Why is there 10 different denominations? So I go through each one. One was like Lutheran. Oh, this was started by this pastor because he didn't believe in the Latter-day Saints. And then the Latter-day Saints started because they didn't believe in the Mormon, and the Mormons broke off and I was like, come on. It's like, come on. There's one God, there's one Bible. Why are there so many different denominations? Like that's the thing that kind of frustrates me, I guess, in regards to religion, because we're praying to the same God. Why do I need to say like, oh, you don't believe that this happened, and oh, but he says, and so no, I don't believe that. So I'm gonna break off and start my own thing over here and call it this. And then no, I don't, you know what I mean? Like that, I don't like that. I like that. That's the thing that I'm like, that's the thing that frustrates me is I believe that there is one God. I believe that there is one God. You may contradict this, but um, going back to like I said before, if I'm born in India and my parents and my grandparents are praying to this shrine, and that's all I know, then that's all I know. I mean, maybe when I get older, I might learn something else, but I just don't like how people like knock that religion. Or if I'm Islamic and we pray 5 times a day, and if I say, oh, I'm a Christian, and no, you're Islamic, no, we don't do that, you're gonna go to hell. Like that stuff, I don't like that. That's where I'm at. I believe that there's one God. I don't know why. I don't know why in India they pray to this person. I don't know why in Indonesia they pray to this, or in Africa they have like voodoo ceremonies. I don't know. Like I don't know. I just know what I know. I believe that there's one God. So I
right.
just don't know why there's so much division.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
And I mean, I can completely go into a whole spat about that, but I know we don't have enough time, and I know you need to wrap this up quick so you head home. but
Hmm.
um, but yeah, I can later. Actually, I am working on a video to kind of give a little bit of information on how and why that is,
Hmm.
where all these different beliefs and whatnot came from, because as time goes by, okay, so the Bible pretty much just says that God is the same before, now, and always will be. I'm just loose paraphrasing that, meaning that through times he does not change. But when people see how what the Bible teaches and they look at, okay, that happened over 2,000 years ago, we're in 2021. The way the lifestyle is now, we should evolve to that. When God is pretty much saying, no, you should just stick to what my teachings are. Um, but so it's pretty much man rejecting God's word and creating these gods themselves because they don't want to go off of what He's trying to teach us. Just giving you a little small bite size of where that comes
Hmm.
from. Uh, and to talk really quick about individuals that, let's say, grow up in another country and they grew up, all they knew was that type of belief system, and then let's say they pass away. Some people are like, did they go to hell or what? Honestly, I leave that in God's hands. Now, God told us and has commanded us to go out into the world and share the good news, the gospel. Hence, why I want to do this channel, because I feel I am obligated and commanded to share what I know. And it may reach that person, it may not, but that is where we as Christians, from what God wants us to do, we should not be sitting and hiding. We need to share what we know, because when you think about it, if you had the cure for AIDS, would you keep it to yourself? I mean,
Hmm.
if you had the cure for cancer, would you keep it to yourself? That is why you want to help save as many people as possible. But I'm not saving you. I'm sharing you what's good news, and I'm leaving the rest into God's hands and you, so God can speak to your heart. My job is to share, water. That's it. Plant the seed, water. That's it, and continue
Hmm.
helping you grow in that relationship. So a lot of the people that don't know and don't understand, I don't look down on them. I don't judge them. I don't sit there and say, "Oh, you're going straight to hell." Now, I will share with them the gospel. I will be truthful in a loving way and let them know, this is what the Bible teaches. This is what I believe, and let's have a conversation. But if I'm just going to sit there and point finger at somebody, what good is that going to do to have them understand what I believe? It's just going to push them further away.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. That's, I mean, yeah, that's
so,
good.
so that's so I get where you're coming from about kind of rewinding about how you were at church and how a lot of people they may have good intentions, but they were a little misguided. But but they they should understand that they should not judge off of what I consider secondary issues. It's not heaven or hell situations by listening to this music or doing this. Now, they may come to you, but you should not try to push your fellow Christians or believers away just because they're listening to music or watching a TV show that you disagree with. It's a secondary issue. It's not a heaven or hell situation. If your heart and you accepted Christ in your life, then you will continue to develop and grow, and then you will see, and your lifestyle will change. But you should not slam somebody right then and there.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but anyways, kind of just go ahead and wrap this up. But thank you for having this, doing this, because this is something that I really want other people to share and know who you are, and the message that you're trying to give out and put out there, and the positivity as well. I mean, along with Dream Tree, your successful business, and then your coaching
Hmm.
business also affecting people worldwide. So
Hmm.
thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to your audience. And, um, this is just a little plug, but if you guys are interested in my content, go ahead over to the channel. Kevin might put that in the link. But yeah, man, just thank you. This is actually the first interview I've done like this. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to your mission. Shout out to everything that you're doing in your message. And I hope, like I said, I hope it just reaches the right people, you know. But you're doing a good thing, man. You're doing a good thing.
As well, you are as well, man. Because yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and like what Neil was mentioning, I'm going to provide the information in my description below, the link, all the information needed, so you can find him out. Even if somewhere here in Japan, within the local area, looking for an English school, Dreamtree link, check it out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but also reach out to him for any questions regarding entrepreneurship and getting in the right mindset. So, but thank
Mm-hmm.
you guys again for watching. This is God, family, and everything else. And yeah, hopefully we can do this again.
For sure, for sure.
All right. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.
All right, man.
All
Take
right.
care.
Too.
All right. Peace.